All right, welcome back to the channel. It's your boy Fanon, and in this video, we're going to talk about something Keith Thurman said about a potential fight with Terence Crawford, and it's ridiculous. This is going to be a pro Terence Crawford video, just in case any of you guys think I'm hating ahead of time. We'll talk about that in this video. All right, welcome back to the channel. It's your boy Fanon. All right, man. Keith Thurman is bananas. Keith Thurman just won a fight against Mario Barrios, 2 years off layoff, and pretty much is acting as if he is going to be the A side in a fight with Terence Crawford. Let's talk about that. But before I do that, thank you so much for watching the video. If you're not subscribed, subscribe to the channel. Share the video, hit the bell icon after you subscribe so you can get all the notifications. And also, please support us over at our sponsor for this video, busr.ag/Fanon. Use the promotional code Fanon. And if you bet on the Super Bowl, if you bet on the Super Bowl, for every touchdown that is scored in the Super Bowl, you will get an additional $10 to wager with after the Super Bowl. So big value in signing up over there. Make sure you guys go do that. All right, so Keith Thurman beats Mario Barrios in a fight. There was a good fight. Keith Thurman looked good. I think he dominated Mario Barrios. He didn't get the knockout, right? Did not look like, he wasn't back to one time or anything like that, but showed that he was strong, that he was in good condition, and he looked good in that matchup. He looked better in that matchup, I think, than, like, say, Sean Porter did in the fight that took place in between his Errol Spence Jr. and Terence Crawford fight. Looked a lot better than guys like Mikey Garcia looked against Sandor, right? So the best thing that I can say for Keith Thurman in the outcome of the Mario Barrios fight is that he did not look finished, right? If he gets a couple more fights and if he's able to get the ring rust off, get his conditioning a little bit better, I think that he can beat most of the guys in the welterweight division outside of the top three guys. And in my opinion, that is Errol Spence, Terence Crawford, and Jaron Ennis. And again, I'm going to gamble to say that I can get through this video without one of you Terence Crawford fans thinking I'm hating on him. So let's progress with that. Now, in the post-fight interview is where the issue that I have with Keith Thurman. First of all, Keith Thurman said, that, yeah, it's a good fight for him and Terence Crawford, but you see what I have, what I have, and he holds up his medal, his WBC medal that he won for the interim when he got this, won a title eliminator fight, which that Mario Barrios fight was. He said, you see who I'm in the ring with, the WBC. And then he also says, it depends on how stubborn Terence Crawford is going to be with the purse split. Now, that to me sounds like he is trying not to fight Terence Crawford. First and foremost, when he starts talking about how stubborn Terence Crawford is with the purse split, obviously he's saying a couple things with that. One, he's referring to the Errol Spence Jr. conversation where Errol Spence Jr. is saying, look, man, I'm going to fight you for 60-40. Terence Crawford is saying, no, if it's 60-40 any direction, it's going to be 60-40 me. 50-50, he doesn't know if the fight would even happen for 50-50, right? So in the case of Terence Crawford and Errol Spence, Terence Crawford is saying, that he is not going to play the B side to Errol Spence Jr. Now, when we're talking about Terence Crawford and Keith Thurman, though, what is reasonable for Errol Spence Jr. fans to criticize Terence Crawford for is not reasonable for people to criticize Terence Crawford for with Keith Thurman for multiple reasons. First and foremost, Keith Thurman ain't never had a successful pay-per-view either, right? So there is no, well, I guess he has. I'm sorry. Let me take that back. He has had a successful pay-per-view. That was when he was the B-side on Manny Pacquiao. Now, a fight with Terence Crawford and Keith Thurman, for my money, there's no doubt who people are going to be is really the driving factor behind that fight, and that would be Terence Crawford. Terence Crawford. It's not as if Terence Crawford does not have a fan base, right? The question is whether or not Terence Crawford has a fan base that is paying a lot of money or has paid and made his pay-per-view successful in the past, right? So acting as if now, if Keith Thurman is saying, how stubborn he is going to be with the split, meaning that Keith Thurman is going to want the majority of the money and wondering whether or not Terence Crawford is going to be reasonable for coming in there for less, let me tell you, man, Terence Crawford, number one, being every bit as big as draw as Keith Thurman is from what I can see as far as what's on the record, and the fact that he's actually the WBO champion just makes that a little bit silly to me, man. You know what I mean? And it's so silly that I don't believe that Keith Thurman actually means it. I think what Keith Thurman is telling you is I am going to try to go the Errol Spence Jr. route. I'm going to try to go do the WBC route because the WBC route, getting to Errol Spence Jr. is a bigger fight. And regardless of what the purse split is between the two, Keith Thurman is probably going to make more money fighting Errol Spence Jr. than he would Terence Crawford. So I just don't think that I think that Keith Thurman is vacillating about wanting to fight, or not vacillating, excuse me. I think he's playing lip service to fighting Terence Crawford, but that he's not really serious about it at all. When you bring up the medal that you're fighting for, which, I mean, what does that mean? Because you just fought in a WBC title eliminator that you can't fight for the WBO? Like you're on some super track or something for the WBC? Probably, as in they're probably going to make him the mandatory for the WBC title. And if it's Errol Spence Jr., it's a bigger fight for him. If it's not Errol Spence Jr., say Errol Spence Jr. moves up to 154 pounds, then it's going to be an easier route to a championship for him than it would be for him fighting Terence Crawford. Terence Crawford versus Keith Thurman is almost a 99% lock for Terence Crawford in that fight. I think that it would be a more competitive fight than, say, the Sean Porter fight is, because I think Keith Thurman is a more fundamentally sound fighter than Sean Porter, and he's just a better fighter than Sean Porter. I think he's also a better fighter than Kell Brook, and he's definitely not as worn down as Kell Brook is. However, or Amir Khan, Glass Joe Amir Khan. But at the most, I think you could expect for Keith Thurman out of a fight with Terence Crawford is for Keith Thurman to go the distance with Terence Crawford. But other than that, it's going to be an L. So it seems like he is going to take the safe route to more money, which is to go over to the Errol Spence Jr. fight and lose to Errol Spence. Now, I'm telling you, I think he may be able to go the distance with Terence Crawford. But the way that Keith Thurman, his Achilles heel, from what I can see and from what a lot of people talk about, is his body. That is a deadly spot. That's a terrible weakness to have against Errol Spence Jr. if you do not like body shots, because you're going to get a whole lot of them. And Keith Thurman did not look so elusive and all that to think that he's going to be able to get out of that. Maybe he can stay away from an outbox with Terence Crawford long enough to stay away from it. But anyway, the chances ain't that good on that. But anyway, on this particular circumstance, man, Keith Thurman ain't real about it. Him saying that Terence Crawford needs to be real or not stubborn about a purse split is just a way to try to get out. Is a way to set the table to try to get out of the fight, in my opinion. But anyway, that's what I think. You let me know what you think in the comment section. And with that, I'm out. Peace.